if you don't have a will, it follows your bloodline. It's not a respecter of any relationships you may have. So I've known people who have been chucked out of houses after tragic events. One lady she was a little old bent up lady, the grey hair, and had lived with this chap. She was the housekeeper, and she'd lived with him for 50 odd years, and her family, well, it was his house and his family wanted it, and she didn't have any rights to stay there. Just as, another lady I knew watched her then boyfriend run over in front of her on a bike. And as they were leaving the hospital, having made the decision to switch the machine off, his family asked her for the keys to the house. And it's really important, because the people you want to have it might not get it. And in the same vein, you might think, I want my children to have everything. I know somebody who went through their grand's house on drugs in 6 months, a whole lot gone. So I'm sure it didn't all go on drugs, but it went on stupid lifestyle. Great chance, but a will therefore gives you the ability to say, I don't want this to happen, and I don't want that to happen, and you can set up trusts and make sure that everybody's looked after in a way, and that's the choice. The worst case scenario, of course, is you die and you have no children, and your parents have a taxable estate and you have a taxable estate. Everything gets left to your parents because they're your nearest blood relative, and they pay tax on your estate and then die a few years later and pay tax on it again. So it's really important to make sure you have a will. And the person, one of the things I really don't advocate, a lot of lawyers will go in and say, right, what do you want? And what I usually start with is, tell me what you want and I'll tell you what you can have. Because it's not everybody thinks, they want this, and they want it to pass to their spouse and then to their children. But if they die and their spouse gets married again, it won't pass to your children. So you need to make sure that that's sorted out, and you can do that with a good will.
Goodness me, I think it's another one of those things that I didn't know until I started in property, is that you don't know what you don't know. And this is completely another element of that, isn't there? It's so much that you kind of don't know. And also I feel, for everyone else, but as soon as money starts to come into play, people change. Maybe they were like that before, but it really kind of accentuates these situations. So as you say, I mean, I know for me that I'm just not into sort of fighting about things, and if it came to it, I would just walk away and let the others have the money, because I'm just not into that awful fighting that can come up. But you do see it happen, and obviously you've seen that, Joy.
Yeah. You can sometimes, I mean, I will often describe myself as the referee. Because that's often what I spend my time doing. I can remember sitting in probably one of the worst days. I put it down as one of the worst days of my life, because I could see that were undercurrents in this family that really I didn't want to be in the middle of. And one lot sat down one side of the board table, and the other lot sat down the other side of the board table and just slang abuse at each other. And it was a horrible thing, and that's what happens. That's the first thing is, I want to get this person back, and it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. There's no point in it. And also people knock on the door the day after death saying, well, give me the money then, because it's mine now. And there's a lot more to do than give you the money.
So is it also that if it's all set up beforehand, then people have an understanding and it can be shared that this is the route, this is what will have to happen to enable it to all go forward?
The the thing with will is that your executors draw their authority from that document. So there's a lot more that can be done. If you haven't got a will, they draw their authority from the grant of letters of administration, which is granted via the court, albeit a rubber stamp exercise, well, to some extent. Obviously, they wouldn't let me go and apply for your probate, but, you know, with the right proof in it. So, yes, from that point of view, it is allowed, you know, it's better to have a will because you've got authority from day one. You know who's in charge from day one. You don't know that. I mean, I've got a friend of mine's mum died in November 21, and we still don't have the grant of letters of administration. So nobody is officially in charge.
Right.
Which is, there's no problems in the family, but if there was, it would be particularly difficult, you know. And so, and usually at this place, I say, you know, people have lots of excuses for not doing wills. The probably most embarrassing fact is that my mother died without a will. She refused to talk about it because if she talked about it, she'd die. She still bloody died. You know, nobody's getting out of it alive. So you know, it's just so important. It's very rare that somebody comes into me and I say, oh, you just want that to that, that's fine. It's an easy will. It's very rare. And they're the ones that you see, you know, they're the £60 ones you see on the boards in the shop windows. You know, do your will for £60, and they'll suddenly then tell you need a lot of other stuff. So